This is pre-calc lesson 2.2, power functions with modeling. So we'll talk about different types of power functions. Any function that can be written in the form k times x to the a power, where k and a are non-zero constants, it's a power function. So x has to be the base, k and a have to be numbers to be a power function. So state the power and the constant of variation. Well, the fourth root of x. Well, another way to write that would be x to the 1/4 power. So the constant of variation would be a 1 out front. So that's your constant. And the power would be 1/4. All right. To graph that, you could put x to the 1/4 power in Desmos and see what it looks like. But that's what it's going to look like right there. So that would be the function. And that would be a power function because those are all numbers. So some different types of power functions: circumference, area, force of gravity, Boyle's law, just some different types of things. All right, a monomial function has to be, it's a monomial only if k is constant, so k is once again has to be a number, and n has to be a positive integer. So to be a monomial, that n value can't be like the last problem we just did. It'd have to be a 4 or a 5 or a 1. It can't be 1/4. It can't be like that to be a monomial. Okay, so describe how to obtain the graph of the function. So this would be a monomial, 3x to the third. Well, what's happening with x to the third? Well, that's just the 3 out front would be a vertical stretch of 3. Okay, you can see that. And it's an odd function because it's flipping back and forth between the first and the third quadrant, vertically stretched by a factor of 3. All right, graphs of power functions. If your k value is positive, these are some different things that it's going to make it look like. So the green line is if a is negative, then in the first quadrant, that's what it's going to look like. And a is positive, a is 1, a is between 0 and 1. So this is what it looks like in the first quadrant if k is positive. If k is negative and then a is all these different things, this is going to be the fourth quadrant. And those are kind of the two quadrants that we're going to focus on when we're looking at these to kind of describe what we can see. Okay, so for any power function k times x to the a, three things can happen. It can either be undefined when x is less than 0, it can be even, or it can be odd. Remember, even, it's going to have y-axis reflection. Odd, it's going to be opposite quad reflection. And I can show you what I'm talking about here. All right, describe the portion of the curve that lies in quadrants 1 or 4. Determine whether it is even, odd, or undefined, and then graph. So let's go ahead and go to Desmos. And let's type that baby in. 3x to the negative 2 power. Boom. So up here is the first quadrant. What do we got going on there? We've got it's quadrant 1 that we're worried about. Is that even, odd, or undefined? Well, it has y-axis reflection, so it's even. And then last but not least, graph it, and we did. All right, let's try that next one. Let's try B. Negative 2 times x to the 1/3. So I'm going to go negative 2 times x. And then when I want to do that, I want to put that in parentheses up there. So 1/3. Oops, get out of that. Boom, boom. And there you go. So there's what that function looks like. So that one, we are in quadrant 4. Yeah, 4. Okay, and what's going on in quadrant 4? It is decreasing in quadrant 4, and that has opposite quadrant, so it's odd. This one on A, it was also decreasing in quadrant 1. Okay, so that's kind of, and then there's, an example of both those graphs that I just showed you on Desmos. All right, that's a wrap for 2.2.